Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome to What's on Tap podcast. And today, I'm your host, Stefan.
I'm your host, Martin.
Right, we never introduce ourselves. We always jump right into it.
Everyone knows who we are.
Of course,
we are world-famous celebrities.
Yes, after over 300 episodes, I feel like everyone should know who we are. But in case they don't, now you know.
Yes. So for today, we should rename the episode to What's on the Menu.
It is, because we're having a 4-course dinner over the course of this episode.
Yes.
And I, for one, am super excited about this.
And I'm super hungry.
Me too. And after this, you might still be hungry, but you will definitely not be sober.
Good.
Because what we have is from the Moersleutel, they have released their 4-year anniversary beer set, and it's called 4 years. And they have an aperitif, a starter, dinner, and dessert. And each one of these has a very different style and a very different expression of beer.
Yes, they even have zodiac signs on them.
Well, I was going to get to that, but yeah.
I've ruined the surprise.
That's okay.
I don't know what that means.
What, zodiac?
I know what the zodiac is. I don't know what it means in the relation to these beers and the dinner. We'll get there.
I don't know my zodiac tables well enough to be able to tell you like how these fall into maybe the calendar year.
I might know.
So if I knew like these are winter signs, spring signs, summer signs, and fall signs, that might be something. So it could be like I know Gemini is June, right? So I know that's the June. End of May, end of June zodiac sign. But as far as Virgo, Pisces, and Aquarius, I don't know what those have to do. Let's see, maybe they're all water signs too, but they're not. Aquarius and Pisces are both water signs, but Virgo's not. And I'm pretty sure Gemini's not, but it could be. I don't know that.
They aren't what?
Water signs. So you know that the
yikes.
The calendar is divided up into different types, you know. But I've really gone about as far as I can go into the exploration of zodiac and what it means, because I don't know any more than that. No. All right. So first up, we have Virgo, and this is the aperitif. It is a quadruple berry sour ale, coming in at 7%. And this is the low ABV of the batch. It has strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, and vanilla. It's his batch 212. And it's best before 5/20/21.
Okay. It has a it looks really cool. It's a murky, red, purple.
I mean, it definitely makes you think of strawberries and raspberries and...
on the nose, I'm getting a lot of vanilla.
Cotton candy is what I think of when I smell it. I think
that's
totally
good.
Cotton candy.
That's
it's
a good...
It's got this sweet, sugary, berry-esque kind of flavor. All right.
Should we get this dinner started?
Let's get this dinner started.
Cheers to an aperitif.
It's a little boozy, fizzy, kind of like a almost like a mixed drink or like a wine cooler kind of. I don't know how to.
Yeah, so the fizziness actually makes it taste less of berries. The berries are only coming in the aftertaste because of that. That fizziness kind of takes over your olfactory senses.
It does. I get a lot of raspberry on this, but not like the tart like homage kind of raspberry, or like the Cantillon raspberry. It's more of a candy sweet kind of raspberry.
Yeah, I'm having a big difficulty separating the berries in the flavor.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with this is raspberry is such a dominant flavor, whereas I think blueberry and blackberry, blueberry for me is just a non-existent flavor in beer. Unless it's the only
Yes.
flavoring adjunct. So blueberry, meh.
Yes,
You
and
can
here,
cross it out automatically.
here blueberries is absolutely non-existent.
Right. You wouldn't know it, but I mean,
Strawberries, oh no,
no,
not really
I
getting
wouldn't.
it.
I wouldn't know. I would say
Blackberries, sure, that might affect the.
I think the blackberry is a little sour and probably props up the raspberry a little bit more. But yeah, it's mostly raspberry and vanilla. Mm-hmm. I would say definitely come through in the flavors.
What it is a good aperitif. Mm-hmm. This would be a good welcome drink on a summery day.
Yeah, and this and the zodiac sign is Virgo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a nice starter. I think if you had this to split amongst 4 people, it would be a good way to begin the meal.
Yeah. So I checked it, and Virgo is August, September.
August, September. All right, interesting. Okay.
That means nothing.
Well, we'll see how it all relates to everything else.
Sure.
So, what do we rank the aperitif?
I mean, just based on the flavors, actually, the vanilla that I get in the aroma is not very present in the flavor.
No.
Based as a summer drink, out in the sun as a starter or a welcome drink, I would give it higher. Now I'm giving a 3.75.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Yeah.
I think I would really like more of the berries to come forward on this. I feel like it's got a lot of berry, but there's not a lot of berry in this. And you said that Virgo is a
August, September.
That makes actually a lot of sense because when you look at this logo, it's kind of, I would say, I get kind of a Native American feel to it. And that would kind of go with the fall leaves you see here, and the fact that you're kind of, it's in America, you get kind of into these Indian, Native American, First Nations tropes in things. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. All right, so next up we have our starter, which is a double dry hopped double IPA with Citra, Laurel, and Centennial hops. It comes in at 8%. It's batch 214 and it's best before 1220. And it says the Pisces.
Yes.
And you see a lot of fish and the colors are very blue and green.
Of course.
Yeah.
Here I know it. I don't believe in zodiac signs. I don't believe that they affect people's personalities and destinies. I am an Aries, which is late March. Pisces is before that. So it's late February, early March.
Okay, so then we are kind of moving through the calendar.
No, we're moving backwards now.
Well, I mean if you look at so if you go from fall into winter, then summer.
Then we skipped winter.
Right, so we had to skip winter, unless we know what Aquarius is, and maybe I don't know what Aquarius is.
We'll get there.
All right. Yeah, so...
It has it's weed.
It's kind of danky. Kind of... there's a lot of hops on the smell, but yeah, it's kind of that bit of a skunky dankness.
It has potential.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to this. So let's get into this.
Cheers.
And this is, I wouldn't say it's like a haze bomb, but it's definitely a murky beer. That's good.
Yeah,
I like that.
Continued quite dank.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be correct saying a little bit of grass, a little bit of pine?
Yeah, I would say definitely a little bit of that. It's kind of sweet as well.
It's actually quite sweet, yes.
There's a little bit of a bite, a very slight bitterness to it that comes through. Man, this is really tasty. I'm liking this quite a bit.
It is really good. If we're supposed to rate them based on how they represent the aperitif, starter, etc., then an aperitif can be quite alcoholic if it's small volume. But a starter shouldn't be this alcoholic.
Yeah, see, I don't really ascribe it in that way. In the fact that, I mean, these are the ABVs. These are off the charts. I mean, they're ridiculously high. I mean, first of all, I would have thought the Aperitif would have come in at maybe
4,
like a 4, and then this would come in somewhere around 6-7%, and then dinner would be maybe closer to 10, and then or maybe even come in at
8.
under 10.
Yeah.
So all of these are very big beers.
Yes.
And I would say the starter is kind of light. It is. It's got a lot of flavor. It kind of gets you excited about getting into the main course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My palate has been wet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this a lot. And the more I drink it, the more I like it. This is really good.
For me, it started good, but it's kind of plateauing now. Now I'm just getting the dankness. When I say dank weed flavors,
isn't it vegetable?
Vegetables are starting to come out
kind
now.
of flavors, which I don't mind. I kind of like that in IPA. So for me, this really works.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit too vegetable-y for me.
Okay, and I think that also falls into that guava-esque kind of things where I think you like it, like you like the guava beers more than I do.
Yes,
whereas,
of course. Everyone in the world loves guava beers.
Yeah, probably. But I'm not a huge fan of those, and I think that kind of spoiled, rotten, vegetable-y kind of flavor is either you like it or you hate it.
No, okay, I'm not getting spoiled vegetables. I'm getting basically like cooked vegetables.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm Arnold. This is a good beer, but I cannot give it more than 4. It's a 4.
I was going with a 4.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfectly acceptable 4.
It's a weak 4.
It's a weak 4. Oh, for you. I think it's just right in the middle of 4.
Okay.
4.25 would be like, no. But 3.75 is also, I think it's too little. I think this is a solid 4 overall. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, let's take a bit of a break and reset, and then we'll come back for our dinner course.
Listen to the commercials.
All right, are we ready for dinner?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are you like really hungry now? Now we've had a little bit of an aperitif and a starter. You're ready to jump into the.
I was born ready.
The main course. All right. Well, this is the Gemini zodiac sign, and it is a barrel-aged imperial stout.
Ooh, barrel-aged even. I didn't know that.
Batch 215, best before 5/20/23.
Oh.
And the Gemini is end of May, 1st of June.
Yes.
Or at the end of June.
I had to check it up.
The reason I know this is because it's my mom's astrological sign. And it's the one right before my astrological sign. So I know that one. What comes after, I have no idea. But I know what that one is.
Leo is somewhere around there.
I think Leo is the next one. I think it's July, kind of. Or in July, August, kind of. I like this. I like all of the artwork on the. I think they've done a really great job. I wish they would have credited the artist. So
this one is the best. It has a female profile, which is very striking. It's graphical. It's cool.
Yeah, all of these have really great looking profiles. So let me see something here. So all of them have a cup, and the cups look very different. So the aperitif has the main character holding 2 cups, and they're kind of reddish looking, kind of pink. So it kind of goes with the aperitif. Yeah. The starter has this kind of bluish with a little green foam on it, kind of reminiscent of the IPA. And now we've got the bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout with no adjuncts, and it looks like kind of like a cappuccino almost.
Yeah.
All right, so let's give this a quick sniff.
Sweet.
Sweet, a little boozy on the nose.
Yeah. Chocolatey.
Very chocolate.
Okay, it actually smells exactly like the Moersleutel stout.
Yes.
This is
everything you come to know and love from a Moersleutel stout.
But they do have a house flavor when it comes to stouts.
Yeah, and I think this one is definitely hitting all of those notes.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Let's
cheers.
try it. Cheers.
There's almost like a little bit of licorice on here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty damn tasty.
So with this beer, I feel like I could pick it out in a blind tasting and say this is the Moersleutel beer. I wouldn't be able to say exactly which beer, but it shares a lot of the typical flavors.
Moersleutel and the
Yes, some of them stick out because they are so heavy on a certain adjunct. But when they just release a stout, it has a base flavor that's rich on like toffee caramel, muscovado sugar, sweetness, and becomes like a fudge. And this one tastes kind of like fudge.
Yeah.
And we've had enough the Moersleutel stouts to know what one tastes like.
Oh, for sure. And I think this is hitting all those notes that we love and that we've come to expect from the Moersleutel. It really is. I mean, their stouts are their wheelhouses. Yeah. And we're seeing here is they do other styles, but their stouts are always where they just freaking crush it.
There's a lot of vanilla ice cream in this one. Was it no adjuncts?
No adjuncts. No listed adjuncts. Just water, malted barley, oats, hops, and yeast.
Because it does taste like vanilla. I like it.
Well, they're probably getting the vanilla from the barrel aging, maybe.
Now, you said it, but I didn't listen to you. I seldom do. 13% ABV.
13%, yeah.
It's hiding it very well.
I know. It's just so drinkable. I mean, you could really pound this beer without feeling it. Yeah.
This is a dinner.
There is... Actually, I found the Aperitif to be boozier than this... than the dinner.
Yeah. I actually really respect a brewery that names something a dinner or breakfast and doesn't completely fill it with adjuncts. A lot of breakfast beers have like 7 ingredients.
Well, yeah, you have to have coffee, of course.
Yeah, sure. But it's like coffee, bacon, maple, toast, cereal, orange juice, like
eggs and...
I made that up, but you know what I mean.
Waffles and...
Cacao, vanilla, Mexican cream. Like, no.
Yeah.
Just make...
Let's make a really good stout, and it'll taste a lot of those. It'll have a lot of flavors in it just from a good brewing process.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very thick. It has a really good mouthfeel, this one.
It does. Yeah, it is in all of my stout sweet spots. So I am going to give this a 4.5.
I am as well.
Good.
It is a correct rating.
It is a correct rating. All right. So, because we haven't had our fill yet, we have one more beer, which of course is our dessert.
You always need dessert after.
We always need dessert. And this is the Aquarius Zodiac sign. It has what looks like 2 beer steins kind of in the middle. Or
beer jugs.
Or lambic jugs kind of style. And it's the freeze-distilled double chocolate stout. Comes in at 18% ABV. It's got Peruvian cocoa nibs and Ghanese cocoa nibs. So 2 drops of chocolate. And the batch is number 213. And the reason I've been reading the best before date on all of these is because the best before date on this is 44444.
So the year 4000.
444. Yes.
That cannot be legal in the EU.
Yes, it's a 2,000-year shelf life. So
because it's their 4th year anniversary.
Yeah.
To anyone who actually cares about the zodiac signs, this was Aquarius, which was January 21st to February 20th.
So they are all in a different zodiac time period.
They're jumping around. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no logical.
Well, I mean, I guess you could say that the berry one is kind of
autumnal.
Autumnal. Yeah, I was trying to get that word. And then you have the Pisces, which is more spring.
No, it would be summer for me.
And then you have the Gemini, which is
Summer, which is wrong. And then this one, which actually works with January, February, where it would be cold.
The dark of your soul, keep you warm.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the zodiac signs on these had nothing to do with the beer. It's some kind of inside joke. Maybe there are 4 brewers. Possibly. And this just matches their birth years.
Probably.
They're going, we pulled it off.
All right. So this supposedly has a lot of cocoa, but I do not smell a lot of cocoa.
Doesn't smell anything.
Yeah. I'm very nervous about this one. All right. So we've had really big Moersleutel high ABV freeze-distilled beers before, and they've been a bit intense. So cheers.
Wow, that's so boozy. But it's not unpleasant.
No. I remember when we had, as part of our Christmas calendar last year, we had a Moersleutel.
We had a Moersleutel freeze-distilled and the Het Oudje.
Right. So I brought the Moersleutel 3 years. I think they did a 3 year dessert then.
That was it. And I brought the Het Oudje Staff Sergeant.
Yeah. And this is, I think this is going to be like that was. It needs to rest. It needs to open up. It needs time to breathe a little bit. Because this is like intense. This is when you crack open early and you just let it sit and you kind of just relax through the rest of the day.
Yeah, so we've let it sit all through this podcast.
It's been probably open about half an hour at this point.
Yeah. I'm getting, like, the aftertaste is alcohol vapors, but I don't necessarily mean vodka.
It's not that burn gasoline kind of harsh alcohol burn to it. It's definitely boozy.
Yes.
And it's very dry in the finish. I think the cocoa has really dried out the finish on this.
Yeah. I think I want to compare the booziness to whiskey.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just kind of a whiskey-esque flavor to it.
I used to be such a big whiskey nerd. And then beer just took over everything, and I still enjoy whiskey a few times per year, but it's very seldom. And this is difficult.
Yeah, this is one where I like it, and you just need to. You can't drink it fast. You need to take a couple of sips, and then just let it sit for a while, and let it cool off in your palate, cool off a little bit, because as you do, you get those roasty aromas come out. The cocoa becomes a little more present. There's a little sweetness on the lips. But if you were just to take a multiple sips back to back, the booziness just overwhelms everything, and all you can get is boozy, so boozy.
Yeah. I want to say that the flavor on this is really good, but the aftertaste is not as good. This is one of very few beers that I could consider tasting and spitting out like a wine taster does.
Oh yeah.
Because with beer, that's never. So much is in the aftertaste. So much is in the taste buds right at the back of your throat. Yeah. You're just not getting it unless you swallow the beverage. But this one is actually best when it's in your mouth and not swallowed.
Well, I guess what I don't like about it is there's almost no carbonation on this. For me, it comes off a little flat and kind of a little lifeless. I think it's really, for me, it's really boozy on the upfront. So you're getting smacked in the face with booziness. But then I kind of like the aftertaste. I think it becomes chocolatey, and there's a richness to it that really presents itself. But it's also it's not one that I feel like I need to finish.
Yeah. But I'm going to disagree with you here, because the upfront booziness is one I like, and the aftertaste booziness is one that I could go without.
It's interesting. I think we both probably feel the same thing review rating on this beer.
I have
but for
no
different reasons.
This one, I have no idea what number to give it. But I'll say this. The lack of carbonation does not bother me because they marketed it as dessert.
Yes.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it being completely flat. And it actually isn't. It has a little bit of carbonation. You can stir up a few bubbles. Very few.
I'm not getting any bubbles. I've had a little bit more, but maybe there's a little bit. But I'm not getting
you're getting kind of a... Okay. It has extremely little carbonation.
Yeah. I guess...
See, you have
there is
a ring of bubbles.
All right.
Ha. But with a dessert, I totally get that. If the dinner stout was like that, I would have complained.
Yeah. And I guess if I was, like, when I think about this progression, I feel like the 18% freeze-distilled double chocolate stout is a miss. Like, I don't think the dessert should be this. I think they should have gone with more of a pastry stout, like a high ABV pastry stout instead. Maybe instead of dinner, gone with a maybe a Baltic Porter or a Rausch beer or...
No, I disagree.
Or something like that. Or even maybe made the Aperitif a Goza, moved the... what was this? The sour ale to a starter, and then made the IPA the dinner. No,
I do not want us to move the dinner. We can exchange the aperitif, the starter, and dessert. I'm fine with that.
All of them. Think the dinner needs to be a real chewy kind of strong beer.
Yes, the dinner is exactly where it's supposed to be, and that's why it's getting a 4.5. It's a strong 4.5, mind you.
Yes, yeah.
I am vehemently opposed to moving the dinner stout.
Okay.
All of the other ones, they're up in the air.
All right. So what would you want to have for the dessert if it wasn't this?
I like your idea of a pastry stout. We've just had the non-adjunct barrel-aged stout as dinner. I think a pastry stout with the correct adjuncts.
Adjuncts.
Suddenly I can't say adjuncts.
The 18% hit.
It's because of the 18% dessert stout. It's starting to mess with my motor control. I think a pastry stout, even if it just move, it doesn't need to be stronger.
No, I honestly, because this is
13.
So if it was 15,
or even 13.
13, it could be 13 as well. Yeah.
But with heavy vanilla, no maple, because I'm starting to be I'm over maple in beer.
Yeah, I mean, I think like chocolate, raspberry, vanilla. Kind of give me an approximation of a dessert.
Yes.
That you would get somewhere. I think that would be a really nice, like a tiramisu kind of.
Yeah, sure.
Chocolate, coffee, cinnamon, something like that. Something in there that give me the approximation of the dessert.
Yes.
And I think this is what I don't like about this double chocolate stout is I don't get the double chocolate. It doesn't come off as like, wow, that's super chocolatey. Oh my God, so much chocolate.
So there's also a concept of a digestive. Digestive.
Digestive,
But when I say digestive, I think of like a cookie.
Well, digestive is like in European terms is more like a graham cracker.
I would say that in European terms, a digestive is a cognac, like an actual.
Well, it's two different things. When you said cookie, it made me think of the digestive biscuits,
yes,
which are like graham crackers. But then there's the digestives, which are more like something that you put on your stomach to maybe help settle it.
Yes,
which is kind of like
straight up liquor.
Right. So it's usually like quite often it's some sort of herbal. It could be cognac.
It could, yeah, but you're right.
But it could be a
Jägermeister.
It could be Jägermeister or something of that Gameldansk or whatever the other Fernet Branc or whatever the.
I'm the only one who likes Fernet Branc.
Something like that. So something that's supposed to help settle the stomach. So it could be this could have been a very. I mean, if they had a fifth beer, then they could have put it digestive and have been a very herbally kind of beer of some sort, maybe.
But that's not what. Okay, so yes, there should be 5 beers here.
Yes.
And the dessert should be some kind of pastry stout.
Oh,
this one should be the.
They could actually do
digestive.
a 6th beer and make it a low ABV beer and call it an amuse-bouche.
Oh, yes. Aperitif could be a amuse-bouche. Those can be considered the same. But I mean what I mean is that the beer we have in front of us, the dessert, is actually a digestive. We're missing a beer in between that is the dessert we're still having at the table. Yeah. This is the beer we have in front of the open fireplace. Right. With the dog lying at our feet,
smoking cigars and
just settling down after this heavy feast. Then it could work better. It would work better in that setting.
Well, I've had a little bit more than you have had of this beer, and
so you're drunker. That's what you're saying.
I like it more now than we first started.
It's still not a bad beer. I never said it was a bad beer.
I didn't say it was bad either, but I'm saying like my opinion is going up a little bit of it.
I'm at a week 4.
Week 4, I'm kind of torn between a 3.75 and a 4. I feel like it's a strong 3.75, but I'm like giving it sympathy points to get it to a 4.
I'm already thinking about it in a different term than dessert. I'm thinking about it. I've moved it outside of the constraints of the 4-year anniversary setup.
Well, I'm judging it on its own merits. I'm not judging it within the context of everything else.
But when it's a set.
When it is a set, I mean, how... Okay, so there, I mean, I guess it is... We'll get back to that. All right. So, I'm going to give it 3.75. I think it's perfectly good. Honestly, it's like a 3.9 if I had to be like really where I want to put it.
That's also where I would be, but that for me becomes a 4.
Yeah, I understand you're rounding up. Yeah, I'll give you that. So as a whole, how do you feel about this whole presentation? Let's go back to rating everything, irregardless of how we rated them individually, as a set, as a complete experience. How would you rank these?
Looking back. As a set, I'm disappointed with the sour aperitif and the IPA starter. Individually, they are fair enough good beers, but it's not a good progression. It's not like bam, bam, bam. It's this is one thing. Oh, this is a completely other thing. There's no connections in between.
So, if you were to compare this to say like the Tuol Mr. Series or the Miss Series, do you feel that's a more natural progression of beers? Like when you take the whole set in and of itself, do you feel like they move through beer styles and through experiences in a progressive manner?
So the Mrs. series, that's like 3 separate series, right?
Well, it's 2 series.
But with vintages.
But with vintages, so every year it's a different set of beers that they create.
You and I have only had one together.
We've done the Mr. Series and the Miss Series together, I thought. I know we've done the Miss Series together.
Yes.
Right.
And that's the one I remember where there was like a tea beer.
Yeah, and there was...
Yeah. And I remember us saying like, a few of these beers have a very strong connection, and then there was 1 or even 2 that were completely
just out of left field.
Like, no, don't... So then this is better. This is more of a staircase to getting drunk.
Oh, this is definitely a staircase to get you drunk.
Yeah,
but very easly.
But that was it. The Mrs. Series.
Yeah, it was the Miss Series.
It varied more in ABV.
Well, I mean, this is a 10% variance.
No. That's not what I mean. This is going small, larger, largest.
Yeah.
The 2L Mrs. series was like up, down, down, up, down,
Okay.
Woof, all over the place.
Yeah, and for me, I don't think the ABV needs to be a ladder going up. I think it needs to feel like there is a logical progression from one to, like there's a common thought that goes through all of these.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like each of these on its own just exists in its own world.
Yeah.
I love these collections whenever they come out, and I'm always excited to like I've got to buy them. It's like the collector in me is just like, oh, I've got to get the whole set.
Yes.
Because it's a set.
Yes.
And I want to try them all for sure. And I just feel like this was interesting. It's fun, but you're right, I don't feel the progression from like I don't feel the theme or connectedness between them. So if I tried one individually, I wouldn't necessarily feel like, oh, I really need to feel it building on the flavors and the becoming more interesting as it progresses along. No. So I think this starts out at 7%. It goes to 18%. It's a huge ABV upswoop, but there's no thread that brings them all together for me.
No. And if any listener is still listening, one thing that I feel is very important to say is these are not beers to be had together with the course on the can. They are supposed to represent it. So the aperitif, sure, it could go with many aperitifs. The starter, yeah, maybe. The dinner will not suit many dinner courses.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to have a barrel-aged imperial stout to go with any kind of dinner.
No, it's supposed to represent it.
Yeah.
And that's the one that sticks out. Like, don't drink dinner when you're having dinner.
Yeah, it would not work unless you're having like I don't know, maybe some sort of steak or something really heavy to go with it.
I don't think it would, but it represents dinner the best.
Yeah,
it's the best beer of the lot.
By far, it is by far. I would say overall, I would give this whole set a 4. I think it's good, it's fun. Super glad I tried it. I think that each one of these beers offers something different, and all of them are very tasty in their own right. Yeah. I mean, nothing got a bad review from us. I think there was a 3.75 to I think 4 is the overall rating that we gave this anyway.
Probably. So. And I agree with your 4 on the overall course of meals, but it's held up by dinner.
Dinner certainly props it up.
If you are going to buy just one of these beers, that's the one to get.
Yeah, by far. Dinner is definitely the must-have of this set.
It is growing on me, man. It's a strong 4.5.
I completely agree. It's so good. All right, so let's just wrap this up.
You can find us online at whatsontappodcast.com, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube.
Facebook.
Wow, even Facebook.
We've always been on Facebook.
We should leave Facebook. It's a bad place.
It is a horrible place.
Yes.
We should boycott it. But
you can also find us wherever you find good quality podcasts.
Yes.
And until next time...
Keep drinking, you dum-dums.
You know it as well. Good.
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.